Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Some more massive news for this Tennessee program coming out of the recruiting trail. Five-star quarterback Faizon Brandon committing to this Tennessee program in the 2026 class. And I think you got to start with just how talented this Tennessee quarterback room is going to be over the next couple of years. Not only Nico going in only year two within this Tennessee program, you have Jake Merklinger, a guy that I was a massive fan of in the 2024 cycle coming in as a freshman. You look at next year and you say you got George McIntyre already locked and loaded. And then you go to 2026. Say Faizon Brandon, the top quarterback in the 2026 cycle, come to Tennessee, all coming into the same quarterback room, being run by Josh Heupel. You look at this Tennessee offense, specifically the quarterback play, over the next 4 to 5 years, maybe even 6 years for Tennessee, it's going to be some of the best, not only in the SEC, but in the country. And you look at Faizon Brandon, this one might be the most talented quarterback coming into this Tennessee room, where you look at 6'4", 200 pounds. What I love about Faizon Brandon is you turn on the film and say, yeah, we all know he has the arm talent. That's why he's the number one quarterback in this 2026 cycle. What really stands out to me about Faizon Brandon is just how well he runs an offense. And this is a kid that's a sophomore in high school, throwing for a 70% completion percentage, over 3,000 yards, 36 touchdowns to only 3 interceptions, winning 13 games at the high school level. This kid's a winner. He's in command of the offense and then has all the physical traits that you want at the quarterback position. I think this kid checks a ton of boxes, extremely talented. Want to get into the film of Faizon Brandon, talk about what he brings to this Tennessee offense, but I think more importantly, how he fits into this Josh Heupel offense. Before we get into it, as always, I just want to say thank you to you guys and to the Tennessee fans over the last couple of weeks, breaking down these commitments. I've had an absolute blast. The amount of support you guys have shown the fellas, it truly does mean a lot. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. It doesn't sound like Tennessee's slowing down anytime soon on the recruiting trail. And without further ado, let's get into Faizon Brandon. Again, I think what stands out the most is not only is this one of the more talented quarterbacks we've seen come out of high school, he's already putting it together on the football field as a sophomore in high school. I mean, a 36 touchdown to 3 interception ratio is incredibly impressive for a sophomore, with a 69% completion percentage. And I think one of the more fascinating aspects about Faizon Brandon, what he can do from an athleticism standpoint. Now, we know Josh Heupel wants to lean on the legs at the quarterback position, not necessarily design the offense around it, but it's a massive asset to have when you're running this Tennessee offense. Faizon Brandon at 6'4", 200 pounds, not only is a really good athlete, and he shows that on the film, he's a basketball player as well, so you see the athleticism translate to the football field. This is going to be a big body. I mean, he's going to put on some weight over the next couple of years. He's not going to be as big as Joe Milton, I don't think. That being said, he's a quarterback that you can use in the run game because of his size, his ability to take a little bit of physicality. And then you look at him as a thrower, and I think the ball placement is what stands out the most. I mean, this is a kid that makes extremely high-level throws as a sophomore in high school. And I think what's even more impressive than just making high-level throws is how he only has 3 interceptions. I mean, this is a guy that wants to put the football into some small windows, take some risk, but he knows how to balance that. I'm going to make some high-level throws, but I'm not going to turn the football over. He is a extremely talented thrower of the football. I mean, different arm angles, off platform. And then I think most of all, just the command of the offense, command of the pocket. This is a guy that does not get rattled when he has some muddy pockets. He's going to step in. He's going to take some physicality, take some heat, and deliver good footballs. You turn on the film, and you can kind of see it all over the film. This is one of the more fun film studies to watch because not only do you see exceptional arm talent, you see a quarterback that knows that he's physically gifted, but also really has the game down from a between-the-ear standpoint. In his first year as a starting quarterback at the high school level, you start rolling through the film. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this in terms of ball placement. He knows this ball has to go on the back shoulder. He knows he has that cornerback on the boundary coming over. I mean, it doesn't get better. You talk about ball placement, fitting it into small windows. That is all over the film for Faizon Brandon. You talk about consistently attacking the deeper third. I mean, he throws dots. I mean, he's a guy that can get it to any blade of grass on the football field, which you need to have in this Josh Heupel offense. But when it comes to pushing the football down the field, Faizon Brandon makes a lot of those throws. You continue to roll through the film, and it's just kind of impressive after impressive, right? We're attacking, extending plays I mean, you look at this throw one, we're going to buy a little bit of time, keep our eyes down the field, and we're going to go a little off platform, off arm angle, and put it right on our wide receiver for a touchdown. I mean, again, you just continue to work through it. This is a very impressive throw, really good work in the middle of the field. One thing that you'll see with Faizon Brandon that I really do appreciate is varying the kind of throws that he has. You see a lot of big-time high school quarterbacks really only have the fastball. They don't know how to layer the throws. They don't know how to take a little bit of off it. You look at Faizon Brandon, I mean, hey, we're just going to layer this right over that zone coverage, put it right to the back of the end zone. Harder throw than it looks on the film. Faizon Brandon makes it look easy. Talk about Faizon Brandon being an athlete. You can get him involved when he has the open field. And this is a kid kind of like Nico. He's long and he can absolutely roll when it is time to get into the open field. Linebacker takes a bad angle, doesn't have a chance at getting a guy like Faizon Brandon to the ground. Continue to work through the film. You continue to see just a bunch of different things in terms of the command of the offense. This is a guy that doesn't get happy feet in the pocket. He is very, very composed, keeps his eyes downfield, can extend plays when he needs to. But again, you see a little bit of a muddy pocket here. You see a lot of young quarterbacks just try to use the athleticism, especially when you're looking at a quarterback like Faizon Brandon, who definitely has the athleticism to extend plays out of the pocket. He's just going to step up. He's going to throw this wide receiver open into that throwing window and make a play. I mean, I think Faizon Brandon just shows kind of everything you want from a quarterback. Again, muddy pocket, doesn't really bother him, works that seam ball just about as good as any quarterback you'll see at the high school level. So many things that this kid does well, not only from a physical trait standpoint, you kind of know this kid is going to be physically gifted. You're not the number one quarterback in the country if you're not dripping with some arm talent. But what I love about him too is just how much of a gamer he is. You look at extending a play here, rolling out, knowing that he's going to take some contact here, delivering a great football down the field, right in stride. I mean, it doesn't get any better than Faizon Brandon. I think what excites Tennessee fans the most is you get Faizon Brandon, the number one prospect in the class, locked in this early. This is the first commitment for Tennessee in 2026. What does this mean for Tennessee in the 2026 class? You look at the top wide receivers, the top running backs, they want to, make sure they go play for an offense that is going to give them some opportunity. There's not a better offense to go play for than Josh Heupel. We saw him put multiple wide receivers into the NFL draft a couple of years ago. We expect a few more to go to the NFL draft after the 2024 season. You know this offense is going to run fast. You know you're going to get your touches. So you know from a schematic standpoint, if you're a skilled position player, you want to go play for Tennessee. But I think secondly, you look at Faizon Brandon and say, he's going to attract a lot of talent. These wide receivers want to know that there's going to be quality quarterback play wherever they go commit to play their football. You look at Tennessee, not only Faizon Brandon, but George McIntyre, Jake Merklinger, Nico. This is a Tennessee offense that is going to be very easy to sell this offensive skill in the 2026 class. I fully expect Faizon Brandon to kind of emerge as the face of the 2026 class. He's going to attract a lot of talent to come play in Knoxville. I think this is a fascinating commitment for Tennessee, super talented quarterback that has really already put it together on the high school football field. That's what stands out to me. We'll cut it there. Appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. Again, if y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. Appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later.